Alright, everybody, welcome back to the channel. I don't know if this backlighting is gonna work. I just wanted to let in natural light in my office this morning. But anyway, so I don't know if these are really messages. I don't know if these are messages that somebody else may actually need to hear. And I don't even know how long this particular video is going to be. And I don't even think that actually really matters. But I'm allowing the energy to just flow through. So, if you get past and get past all of that and you get to the end and you see where this video go, then thank you in advance. But if you get to the halfway point and you want to click off, thank you for sticking around as long as you have. I appreciate you. So, firstly, let's get to the dream first. Last night I had this dream that was like pretty weird for me because lately in my dream I have been taking my dreams as if I have been astral traveling. Ace of Swords at the bottom of the deck. I've been taking it as if I've been like astral traveling to like the dream world and like going to if you're familiar with the TV show Charmed, uh and how they go to like magic school or whatever. Like that's how I've been taking my dreams. Like when I go to sleep, I visit the rest of me and I'm going to like magic school, to like this little magical place, whatever, whatever. And so I go to magic school because a lot of the time my dreams have something to do with school. And I don't know if that has anything to do with like some of the events that happened to me when I was in school, or if that's like totally significant to me being on this constant path of learning. So I don't know if that's like a message for somebody. Like maybe you constantly feel as if you're always trying to learn something and always better yourself. And you're finding the magic in expanding your mind and expanding your knowledge and upgrading your skills all the time. You're never in this never in this space of feeling as if um you have enough information and you can stop. Cuz that's how I am. Like I feel like I'll never know enough, and even enough is good enough, but I can always be better, if that makes sense. So, back to it. Stay focused. Okay, so in this dream, and I'm holding this deck because it was significant in this dream. In this dream, there was someone that I don't even. I'm not gonna say that I don't know this person. I I ran across some of their content here on YouTube, and then uh seen them on another platform. And on that particular platform, they don't do that same type of content. And so in my dream realm, we do follow each other on YouTube. So in the dream realm, they was like we was in like herbology class. Like, okay, so now we're like getting away from Charmed in magic school and we're like moving on to like herbology, fucking Harry Potter type shit. And so we're like in herbology class learning about all these plants, and we're like in the middle of planting roses, which are roses are significant That's a message. I don't know exactly what it is right now, but I don't even have my book, my magic. Hold on, let me see. All right, so I'm back. So let's see, because I feel like that's a message. So let's see. Roses. Because I think that's significant. But yeah, we're in like herbology class and we're like replanting roses. And like I have my tarot deck in my hand and we're like replanting roses. And I was doing both at the same time in the dream. And this kid is like fucking jealous for some reason. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, why are you jealous? Like, why are you upset? Okay, so roses. Roses. Okay, so if you're wondering, this is the Encyclopedia of Magical Herbs. So just so you know. So roses, feminine, Venus, water. Planet is from Venus, element water. Deities, I'm not reading all that. Powers, love, psychic powers, healing, love, divination, luck, protection. Magical uses. Roses have long been used in love mixtures owing to the flower's association with the emotions. A chaplet of roses worn when performing love spells remove the thorns, or a single rose in a vase on the altar, or powerful love magic. Uh, Powerful love magic aids. Rose water diluted from the petals is added to the love bath. Rose hips, the fruit of the rose, are strung and worn as love attracting beads. A tea of rosebuds drunk before sleep induces prophetic dreams. To discover their romantic future, women used to take 3 green rose leaves and name each of one of their loves. The one that stayed green the longest answered the questions of which one. Rose petals and hips are also used in healing spells and mixtures, and rose water saturated cloths laid to the temples will relieve headache pain. Roses are also added to fast luck mixtures and then carried and acted as personal protectants. Rose petals sprinkled around the house calm personal stress and household upheavals. Roses planted in the garden attract fairies and are said to grow best when stolen. Hmm, that's interesting. So, but yeah, in this dream, we was like replanting roses, and like the kid was like trying to steal my tarot deck, not my personal tarot deck, like the one that I created myself, but like trying to steal like this basic modern witches tarot deck that you can get yourself online, like from Amazon or something like that. And I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Give me my freaking tarot deck. Basically, like trying to bully me. And then he's like, I get my tarot deck back, I put it in my pocket, and I'm walking away. He pickpockets me and like tries to run off. And so this is where the incorporation of like Charmed come in. Because if you know, and then her name was Rose McGowan. Okay. Um the White Lighter witch, Paige. So I did like this, like tarot did, and then it orbs right back in my hand. And he becomes like angry, like furious, and pulls out a gun and was like, "Oh my god, I'm gonna kill you right now." So then, in the middle of the dream, right before I wake up, I was like, "You can't kill me. If you're gonna kill me, you're gonna kill yourself." And then I wake up. So that's what that dream was about. And I'm like, what? What does that have anything? What does that have to do anything? So I, you know, sat, cleaned my kitchen, ruminated on it a little bit, and this is what I came up with before I pulled cards after that. So this is what I came up with. I came up with the idea that this could be a significant trigger of people trying to steal things from you, and they feel like you have something that they don't have, when in actuality everyone have access to it. It's not limited. Just as easily as you had access to it, they can have access to it as well. So that's a message. I feel like somebody is trying to take something from somebody, and they feel as if they have something material, though. It's not like a spiritual attribute, it's a material item someone sees that you have, and they feel like they want to take it from you. Whether it's they feel like you don't deserve it, whether they are acting out of jealousy and envy, or they just simply just want it because they feel like they can take it and they can get away with it. But it's yours, and it's always going to be yours. Even if somebody feels as if they're going to take something from you materially, you're always going to be able to call it back. So that's what I got from that dream. Then I came in my room, pulled cards. So first card I pulled from my little deck that I normally well, this was the first little personal deck that I created, and I don't even really know what to call this one. This is just like have a lot of little subjects in it, so I don't really know what to call that one. But I pulled these two. I shuffled, and these two came out. So the two subjects are the cycle of creative energy and social justice and collective empathy. And what I got from this is you're in a cycle of creative energy right now. You're using your creative energy to create social justice for you. And also help you utilizing your creative abilities and gaining some sort of social justice is having some sort of outward effect on the collective and empathy. So let me delve in this a little bit more. So social justice. You know, we live in this realm where like there's this idealization of like what is socially acceptable. And there is, because I'm not going to say that I'm not acknowledging social, like the social justices. I'm not going to say that. However, there are certain social mm, constructs. There we go. There are certain social constructs that just are like not relevant at all to the collective and how we can evolve. Like some stuff we just need to like do away with. And I'm not gonna like, I mean, I could go deeper into it, but I just feel like that's gonna make the video way longer than it actually really should have to be. But it's more or less like it's a limited. It's created to limit our ability to socialize with each other. It's created to limit our perspectives of ourselves and of others, which the others are ultimately just like us. that also goes with this movie that I watched yesterday. I don't know if anybody have ever seen this movie, and I suggest you watch it because to me it had like a lot of um, spiritual like unfolding in it, like lessons in it. And so the movie, the substance, it kind of hits on addiction, um, like your inability to accept yourself fully, and like when one area in our life closes, like how you're able to transition in life with changes and how you actually really perceive yourself. So in the movie Substance, this lady um got into a car wreck. But she only got into a car wreck because she got fired from her job. And she was like this big star in her day or whatever. I kind of channeled a little bit of this like um previously, but she like ended up getting into a car wreck. And so she was looking at this billboard that had her photo in it on it, and they was taking it down. And so that made her feel like, oh my god, like I'm losing my star. I'm like losing my ability to be known and seen, and that is what she utilized to make her feel special in the world. That is what she used to make her feel important. And that was an illusion because she didn't really need the external validation. She was already important. Like people that knew her from back in the day. Because once she got into the car accident on her birthday, she went and got checked out. She didn't have a scratch on her. She ran into this guy that worked at the hospital who was a part of this introduction of her getting introduced to the substance. And outside of her meeting that guy and him giving her the business card or the hard drive so she can call and order her substance, she runs into somebody from high school. And like if you're in her body looking at that guy, he would be like the nerdy kid that nobody would be paying attention to. And like even in his world, he was like, oh my god, Lizzie, Lizzie Sparkle, oh my god, you're just as beautiful as you was the day before. Oh my god, you're just as beautiful as you was back in the day. You're still beautiful. And she's like uh, passing him off, and I'm like, why are you doing it? But anyway, man, it was just this crazy movie. She ended up getting the substance, and then she turned it into a better version of herself, and then that version of herself became the same version of her, which was the representation was anything outside of you is you. You're like one. There is really no alternate. So you got to watch the movie for yourself to get your own understanding. But she ended up getting like social justice. Like the people that she thought actually really cared for her, they ultimately did not actually really care for her. The people that she thought was important to make her feel important, they weren't really important because they didn't like themselves. That is that making sense? So now, like after that, in that channel message, we have this affirmation card. It says, I can give my attention to the positive aspects. Things are coming into your experience in response to your vibration. Your vibration is offered because of the thoughts you are thinking. And you can tell by the way you feel what kinds of thoughts you are thinking. Find good feeling thoughts, and good feeling manifestations must follow. Make a decision to look for the best feeling aspects of whatever you must give your attention to, and otherwise look only for good feeling things to give your attention to, and your life will become one of the increasingly good feeling aspects. So I got from that as in if utilizing the story of the substance and also utilizing that aspect of my dream, if they was to pay attention to the positive aspects of their life, like the positive things that had already transpired, like her already getting and having her Hollywood star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, and her already having accomplished all of these great things, being on billboards, being in a movie, having a hit TV show, and being known for her exercise programs or whatever. And then, like, once they told her, okay, well, okay, Elizabeth Sparkle, we're gonna have to cut you out. You done got too old or whatever. And see, that was a part of the thing too, like aging out, like making age as if it's something to fear. Like getting older is something horrible to fear. And I remember I used to think like that too, because I remember when I was younger, I was like, oh my God, when I get 25, I'm gonna be crying. And then on my 25th birthday, I cried, but it was more or less like I cried because there are a lot of people who are considered to be like queer and like extremely feminine and trans and all, they don't make it to this age. They don't make it to 25. They don't make it to 30. They don't make it, like, so I cried in the celebration of the fact that I wasn't thinking thoughts of suicide. I wasn't thinking thoughts of, I wasn't living a life in which I like was harming myself in any way. Like my life could have been better and it did get better, but it was like in the space in which my life could have like went down a really horrible path had I not started seeking like spiritual guidance in the ways in which I did. And I have like my tarot cards and like spirit and a few spiritual teachers here on freaking YouTube that I some of them I shout out, some I don't really shout out. I'm always in a comment section, whatever. Like I have those people, and even the new people that I learned something about within a few years. Like I have those people to thank for me to be able to be in communion with them and communicate with them. And even though we don't know each other. It's the internet. We don't actually really know them, but we do get a chance to learn things from them, and we can learn and test it out on our for ourselves behind the scenes. So with that, I feel like if they would have took, if she would have taken that opportunity instead of saying, "Oh my God, I'm washed up. Nobody's gonna care about me anymore. I'm not gonna be important." If she would have taken that fucking idea to be like, oh, okay, well, what else do I want to do? She had fucking cookbooks and shit in her office. So when she did started taking the substance and the other better version of her stuff started doing the things that she felt like she was losing, and she started doing that, and then her older version of herself was sitting at fucking home cooking and making meals. I'm like, bitch, you could have been goddamn making fucking. You could have had an at home cooking show or something like that. You could have been fucking at home doing cooking videos on YouTube or some shit. And it's like, how you perceive yourself as being a has been. Your life ain't out. Your life isn't over. Life is still going on. Just because that stopped for you doesn't mean that you don't have an opportunity to continue discovering more things about yourself. And maybe it's because I'm in that perspective, because I've had that happened to me. Like the first time I actually like got fired from a job that I actually literally wanted and I like worked my ass out for. And then I got fired from that job after I just moved into my new home, and I'm like, "Oh my fucking God, like what am I going to do? Like how am I going to fucking pay my mortgage?" Whatever. And so like, but I cried for a little minute, and then I was like, you know what? This is my time to start something else. And thank God that was like fucking what 4 or 5 years ago. But like that moment, me realizing like life is not over. I'm getting a chance to get a new idea, get a fresh start. I don't have to be that same person anymore. I don't have to be stuck and confined to that fucking uniform that I hated. Like I don't have to go that commute. I don't have to do that long commute anymore. I don't have to put up with those people that was ultimately getting on my fucking nerves every goddamn day anyway that I really didn't like. Like me realizing that I didn't have to put up with the stuff that I used to put up with and finding the positive aspects in which that came from that situation. So I also feel like that's a channel message as well. Like try to find the positive aspects about certain things. Like the dream, the school, thinking of it back from when I was in high school and that was that bully situation. My mindset being in high school dealing with bullies and shit like that. My mindset was always saying I'm not going to have to deal with this forever. When I graduate high school, I'm not even going to have to look at these fucking people anymore. I always planned on moving, and then when I did, that was really like, oh, I really don't have to deal with those people. I never have to see those people again. I never have to be in that environment anymore. I don't have to be worried about what them folks doing and what they not doing with their life, and I don't have to deal with the pressure of running into them in my adulthood or feeling as if I need to live up to their social construct. But that also allowed me to have empathy for them because they knew not what they was doing anyway. And maybe they felt like they was at uh I'm getting like people, some people in high school, you know how some people in high school peak in high school and that be like they used to be the shit in high school, but then after high school it's like damn, you'd have fell off. Which in actuality nobody actually really falls off. It's just like anyway, whatever. But I don't know. That's just the energy that I was getting. Like finding like positive aspects in every situation. And then so I got the external environment energy is the Page of Swords, inquisitive, sharp, intellectual. Our minds were meant to meet. So it's more or less like me picking up on the energy of whatever it is that you have to offer, your mindset, um, how intellectual you are as an individual. People need that. This also like attributes to me always saying, like whoever you are out there in the world, you need to know that you are special. We all are special. We all have unique qualities about ourselves that are meant to be discovered and shared with each other. And we don't have to necessarily connect with every single person on this planet. But there is enough people on this planet where we can find our own little collective group and commune with and interact with, whether it be socially in our community, in our neighborhoods, or whether it be through the use of technology on the internet. We don't have to feel as if we're alone because we're never alone. But we do need to learn how to be by ourselves, though. Yeah, and every time I hear birds chirping, I always think of having a bird's eye view, seeing it from the big picture instead of just thinking of ourselves as this little small being. Even though we are, as an individual, like a small component to this larger unit of humanity, but always having the bigger picture in mind. So Then the current energy is Eight of Cups, emotionally abandonment, walking away, leaving, the courage to move on. So I also feel like the mindset that you gain from the emotional experiences that you were put through. And once you remove yourself from those environments, those people, uh, and you finally have the courage to walk away, the emotional growth that you experience, which is also a part of the collective empathy. Like you learn a little bit more empathy. You learn to be a little bit more empathetic, not just with others, but you learn how to empathize with your own self. You become more connected to your internal emotions. And then behind the scene, we have the Nine of Wands, resilience, perseverance, inner strength, ready for the next challenge. Like you may have gone through those experiences, and you may have experienced some things emotionally, and you may actually have received like some sort of uh, loss in passion, because the nine of wands is traditionally like this energy of being guarded, having your guards up. But in my tarot deck, I chose to choose the images of students at school, you know, having an exam, finals, and they like, damn, when is this gonna be over? I went through all these classes. I've taken all these courses, and I'm at finals, and so I got this last little bit. If I can just jump over this hurdle, then I'll make it. And so that's the positive thing about this too. The two of stacks in my deck, which would be the traditional two of coins, is finding balance, being able to be have the ability to juggle and be flexible and managing, not just managing like your finances, not just managing like your money or whatever, but managing your physical environment, being able to manage and be balanced within the material realm that is our quote unquote reality. And having the perspective, going back to the page of wands, having the perspective to know that your idea of what reality is just that, your idea. And you always have the ability to expand your perspective and what you're actually really experiencing, whether it is physical, whether it is how passionate you are, and whether it is emotional. Like you always get a chance to learn more about yourself. And then now we have all of the elements out here. We have the swords, which is the mind. We have the cups, which are the emotions. We have the wands, which is your passion, your fire, your action. We have the two of stacks, which is coins in traditional tarot, which is the material world. So it all brings it all together, and it allows you to be balanced. And then in the low vibrational end, we have the devil, bondage, trapped, dependencies, breaking free from what binds you. So you're learning how to battle your own demons, how to battle your devil that is always like lurking in the background, waiting for you to fail, or waiting for you to give up, or waiting for you to turn around and surrender and give in to him. You know? But ultimately, it's an illusion. It's not real. And you can be bound to things, like I said, in the substance, like addictions, being trapped, feeling trapped, and being bound to an old perspective or an old idea of who you are. Not allowing yourself to be flexible in your identity and expand and learn, and allowing yourself to change your self image, you know. And then the advice would be the wheel of fortune, luck, fate, karma. Are you in or are you out? This can change everything. Like having the ability to know that you can always change and the wheel is always turning. And that like what you put in is what you're gonna get out. If you work on it and you stay resilient and you do persevere, you're gonna get the outcomes of that. And if you do walk away from a situation due to it being too emotionally draining, and you walk away, you're going to get the results of that as well. And if you continue to work on the things that you're working on in the physical realm, you're going to get the results of that too. So it's like you got to constantly be in a space of acknowledging yourself and paying attention to yourself and taking account of what you perceive to be positive. What are the positive aspects of your life? And sometimes it takes time for us to be creative in those moments. Because we create our own luck. Man is maker of himself. He becomes done and undone by his daily thoughts and actions. And so once you become illuminated with that at the bottom of the deck, the moon, once you become illuminated to that knowledge, mystery, intuition, subconscious, is this really what I think it is? It no longer becomes an illusion. You may at first become confused because it's new to you. But what's up under? Okay, yes, 8 of Wands. But like you might be confused at first once you become illuminated to that. But once you start doing it, momentum start to pick up. You start being able to communicate more effectively, more efficiently. And you start having the meeting of the minds, the page of swords. Our minds were meant to meet. You start being able to have the meeting of the minds. You start being able to communicate what's on your mind. And then there's the 8 of Swords. Then like what I'm picking up from this is like once you start moving, don't fall victim to the 8 of Swords. Don't become trapped. Don't be worried. Don't become terrified. Because Spirit is saying the only thing that's holding you back is yourself. You know? That's the message. I know this video is like 40 minutes long. So if you make it to the end, thank you for watching the whole video. I know some people won't, but I can't worry about all that. I'm just getting the message out. Some people might actually really need this message, and some people might actually really resonate with them. Even if it do come off as me like freaking rambling the first 20 minutes of the video. But again, I cannot worry about that. I'm putting the content out. Once this content is out there, it's gonna be out there, and it could possibly be something that somebody 2 years, 3 years, 4 years later on down the line could possibly need, on their journey. So that's why I'm doing this. So yeah. That's it, y'all. And I'll see y'all in the next one.